watching the second News Hour debate on Times Now Super Prime Time.
We have 2 versus 2 right on News Hour debate number 2 this evening. Meenakshi Lekhi taking on Sanjay Jha. Rahul Narwekar taking on Kamal Farooqi. Shahid Siddiqui should be joining us in some time. So, Sanjay Jha, you know, after 8 years without any preparation, you bring in a bill which is controversial and you only end up strengthening, the BJP. Jayalalitha flocks towards the BJP on this, so does Trinamool Congress. I mean, why have you suddenly woken up on this bill?
Arnab, firstly, this is not suddenly waking up at all. In fact, this has been on the agenda for a considerable period of time. It required debate.
That's why I said suddenly 8 years.
Frankly, in the light of what has been happening, 1 minute, in the light of Muzaffarnagar, Arnab, that you and I have discussed on your program very often, which goes to tell you what is actually known. If you look at the history of communal riots in India, these are organized riots. I mean, after 1992, the entire, the space of communal politics is being dictated by the right-wing BJP with a complete, clear intention to expand its political base. And so what do? Muzaffarnagar happens.
Okay, we get
now, I'll tell you the fact of life of why the BJP. I read Arun Jaitley's comment. And I'll tell you why the BJP.
You needed Muzaffarnagar to wake up and realize that communal violence happens in the country.
Janata Party is absolutely. 1 minute. Let me tell you, let me take you back to 2002. Why did the Gujarat riot succeed? Why do we talk about Narendra Modi's responsibility? Because he abused the state machinery. The state machinery could not be held liable when it should have been held liable.
That's got nothing to do with the present controversy on the anti-communal violence. That's got nothing to do. That's
not 1 minute. It is important because the communal violence bill will ensure that the law and the police officers cannot abuse their powers. They will have to ensure that. So let me tell you, if there's a government, a communal riot cannot continue for weeks. That's a fact of life. If today in any part of India, if a government is responsible, if the police officers work diligently, no riot will continue. You can ask the next question.
Mr. Jha, may I please draw your attention and the attention of everybody on the News Hour debate number 2 tonight to the critical issue. The main flashpoint, ladies and gentlemen, for this bill is the definition of the word group. Don't distract from it. We go on that issue. The main flashpoint of the bill, I say tonight, is the definition of the word group that effectively makes all victims of communal violence only those belonging to a religious and linguistic minority. That is a narrow definition. It's a biased definition.
Not.
It presupposes.
Excuse me.
It presupposes.
Excuse me. It includes Dalits. It includes, by the way, since the BJP on Article 370 of the last 2 days.
Now, you have to let them respond. You don't let me finish my question.
Let's expose their political hypocrisy. 1 minute. This bill will protect the Kashmiri Pandits. That's the point we are trying to make. Now, it doesn't mean even anyone, even a migrant from Bihar or Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra, that Rahul Narwekar's party tries to bully and terrorize and run them away will be protected under the communal violence. That's the truth of life. Let's discuss the bill in entirety here.
Mr. Jha, we are getting, first of all, you didn't allow me to complete. I'll take 10 seconds to complete my point. And I request you and everyone else, unless you want to run away from that debate. You want to run away from that debate? Then we don't debate it. If you don't want to run away from the debate, I propose that on the News Hour tonight we have a proper debate.
No, I'm ready to take you head on this subject.
Yeah, you can take me head on, but then take me head on and take the debate head on. Don't take me head on. I'm not interested in taking you head on. You and I are not gladiators in some kind of a bull ring, Mr. Sanjay Jha.
No, but then you're already trying to dictate the course of the discussion.
The course of the debate is the controversy over the word group and the narrow definition which makes only those belonging to a religious or linguistic minority, only people can be the victims of communal violence. So in Radhabai Chaul in Mumbai riots 1993, since you refer to it, during the early hours of January 8th, 9 members of a Hindu family were set ablaze, 6 died. Now, as per your definition of your bill, those are not victims of communal violence as per the communal violence bill. Those people will have to look for other sections of the Indian law. So I say that let's debate this. First response from Rahul Narwekar. It's not you versus me, Rahul Narwekar.
1 minute, there's also an Indian penal code. The country has multiple laws to protect its citizens. Why are you forgetting that?
If Mr. Jha has done, first and foremost, there without a doubt one can state that this bill is nothing but opportunistic politics once again displayed by the Congress party, number one. Number two, I am amazed to note that Mr. Jha's party had the intention of proposing this bill because of the 2013 Muzaffarnagar riots, when this was in their manifesto in 2004. So Miss Sonia Gandhi,
please pay attention when you sit in a debate.
Probably had a dream that in 2013 Muzaffarnagar was going to happen.
I want to remind you of what you did to the people of Mumbai where I live and you live.
Like a
in
true
1993, the Shiv Sena's role in the Mumbai riots is documented in the Sri Krishna report. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Congressman, when Mr. Jha does not have a defense, he starts speaking on top of his voice.
Communal violence.
So
Shiv Sena was responsible for the bloodbath in Mumbai city that changed the cosmopolitan character of the city. That's the truth of life. Please don't try to give a spin here.
Mr. Jha, before you point a finger at others, look into yourself. You are accountable to this country for the Sikh massacre in the year 1984. So please don't talk nonsense. First you account to the country and tell them what you've done, and then point fingers at others. And number two, Mr. Jha, we have just brought into the forefront your pseudo-secular politics, because of which this bill is necessary according to you.
Pathetic conduct. You and your co-partners in the BJP.
You don't bother about our conduct. The nation has seen your conduct. The only political party to indulge in communal violence is the Congress party. Unprecedented massacre of the Sikh community was conducted, orchestrated and followed by the Congress party.
In this bill, under 3C, communal and targeted violence, a reference is made to a group. The group, I go to Meenakshi Lekhi and Kamal Farooqi next. The group means a religious or linguistic minority in any state of the Union and of India or scheduled castes and scheduled tribes within the meaning of clauses 24 and 25 of Article 366 of the Constitution. So don't fool me, Sanjay Jha, unless you have changed this definition. Unless you have changed this definition. I don't know if you have changed this definition. The question is, this definition stands, and the argument tonight before the nation is this. The debate tonight is this. Sanjay Jha, the debate is
it protected Muslims, it protected tribals, it protected tribals.
Did you choose to protect all these people 6 months before the elections? Mr. Sanjay Jha, you answer one question straight. You be honest and answer one question straight. Did you prefer to protect all these people 6 months short of elections? You couldn't do it for the last 8 years. You only prefer to protect all of them 6 months before elections.
Let me tell you,
is that
our question goes Meenakshi Lekhi into the debate now, so that it's not a Shiv Sena Congress party debate. Meenakshi Lekhi,
why don't you debate on the point? You made a comic out of yourself time and again.
Arnab, I want to answer
Sanjay Jha, let the others come in, please.
Arnab,
the question is,
I want to answer Narwekar.
Now, 1 second, you will answer it later. You've taken a lot of time. Now it's turn for the Samajwadi Party.
Timing. 1 minute. Arnab, 1 minute. If we are doing the right thing for the country and its people...
it took you 8 years to do the right thing.
Lovely. Okay, ceasefire on this, please.
It took you 8 years to do the right thing.
Between both of you, I'm requesting you. I'm requesting you now. Now both of you pull yourself back. Both of you pull yourself back.
I am amazed to know that it took you 8 years to think about the betterment of this country.
I'm requesting you to stop, please, for a second, please. Ceasefire, Shahid Siddiqui, welcome to the debate. The question of the group is not that relevant. Meenakshi Lekhi, says Sanjay Jha. Before I come to Kamal Farooqi, your rebut.
You see, my rebut is very simple.
Saying everybody is
in their own country.
There is no bias.
Can they tell Mr. Jha reduce his volume because I can't continue? I have a very bad throat.
I know. I don't want to hack into your speech,
ma'am. In their own country will be treated worse than American blacks during segregation. In our country, we are trying to create a dystopian society where personhood, which means life and blood, the value of judgments, the value how one has to conduct oneself is the definition of person. Any person who is born in Hindu religion is not a person as per this bill. A person who comes from a particular religious background is to be denied the right which is guaranteed by the constitution. The right to swift justice and others can only be granted to people who belong to certain groups, a religious group, and of course they have added tribals also, but tribals again mean the minority groups. So a country which is I mean, I'll put it differently. I'll say in a company which is run by majority shareholder will have no say, and only minority shareholders will have a say. And I want to read out certain part, because one is talking about the who can suffer during religious rights or communal rights.
Kamal Farooqi will respond to this.
It's only as per them only certain parts of certain people can suffer. I'm reading a letter written in Navjeevan by Mahatma Gandhi. This is 17 September 1928, and this is Godhara rights at that time.
Kamal Farooqi,
and in that Godhara right, his friend Purushottam Das Shah Virta Purvak Mrityu ko apnaya, and he's writing this, and I'm reading only 3 lines where he says, इसलिए जो मार के डर से चावल के बोरे मुफ्त में दे देता है वह डरपोक है, कायर है, अहिंसक नहीं है, वह अहिंसक तत्वों को नहीं जानता, मार के डर से जो अपनी स्त्रियों का अपमान सहता है वह मर्द ना कहकर नामर्द बनता है, वह पति पिता या भाई बनने लायक नहीं है, ऐसे आदमियों को शिकायत करने का अधिकार नहीं है, जहां ना मर्द रहते हैं वहां बदमाशी होंगे. This is what he is writing in response to a letter written to Mahatma Gandhi by a Swayamsevak who's saying people from Muslim community enter the shops, take away anaj and gehu and don't give the money, and they are.
Now what's the relevance to the present debate?
And this is the response. The relevance
No, let her complete. Let her complete. I said Kamal Farooqi is responding to her. Kamal Farooqi is responding to her. No, you want to say Kamal Farooqi will respond to her. Yeah, complete. She has to be allowed to complete.
What I say.
Let her complete.
You can already see BJP playing politics.
Let me
politics of rights cannot continue in this country, and Hindus cannot be treated differently than Muslims. Everyone has to be treated similarly. There can be no discrimination. I have a very simple point to
give me a minute to answer.
These are law and order subjects.
Kamal Farooqi responding to her. Kamal Farooqi, I asked the question. Sanjay Jha, you cannot interrupt in this point like this. Sanjay Jha, 1 minute, please. Please, I request you.
The government was a British government. Today's government is a replica of British government which chooses to ignore and does not give protection to Indians. It chooses to ignore the law and order necessity.
I am reading.
And women are suffering. People are getting looted.
I thought you had a bad throat, but it's doing quite well.
I am quoting from a website. I am quoting from a website. Kamal Farooqi will respond. Sanjay Jha, by the way, let me ask.
A Hindu cannot be a person. Is that the view?
1 second. Meenakshi Lekhi, it's not just a Hindu-Muslim issue. I'll tell you why.
No, I'm not saying that is the, you see, there is a huge intellectual debate.
You are unfair to us now.
Kamal Farooqi says I'm being unfair to him. Yes, I agree. I have been unfair to you in terms of the dispersal of the time. I concede that. But you see, I'm trying to hold the debate as fairly as possible. Kamal Farooqi's turn to respond to Meenakshi Lekhi. I'm reading from a website which says, just allow me, Kamal Farooqi, I'll take 1 second. It says this would not cover a Shia-Sunni riot in Lucknow, for both are presumably minorities, this anti-communal violence bill. It would not cover a Muslim-Christian communal situation in Kerala, a state where a teacher from one community has his hand chopped off by a militant from another minority community. It would not cover the Kandhamal riots because both the groups were tribals, even if one grants that they were egged on by the Sangh Parivar or other church groups. It would not cover the Bodo Muslim riots in Assam last year for the simple reason that tribals and minorities are both presumed to be victims. Now, this is a logical question to ask.
Minorities.
This is a logical question to ask, Kamal Farooqi.
No, absolutely what you are reading is the wrong interpretation of the whole thing. Number one. Number two, let me tell you one thing, that Ms. Lekhi has been talking about the minority rights in the corporate laws. And she must know it that that in the corporate laws, the minority have got the special rights, and their rights are protected because it is always feared that the majority shareholders will take away the rights of the minority. And by the way, we are the signatory to the International Covenant on the Minority Rights, so they should not feel bad about the minorities. It is the responsibility of the state to look after the minority.
Does that mean you will eat into the rights of majority on this ground in the name of secularism?
Ms. Lekhi, when you were talking, I was keeping quiet. So you must have at least that kind of decency that you allow me to have it.
No, I am only asking question, Mr. Farooqi.
No, let me complete, then you can ask the question. You can ask the question later on. There is absolutely no issue. So we are a signatory of the International Covenant on the Minorities, which says that we have to protect, it is a right, it is a duty of every state to protect its minorities. Now, this, as far as this communal violence bill is concerned, this is not the new chapter. This has been going on much before even 2002, much before 1992 and 84, because country has been passing through this communal flare-up on and on, and it is a shame for us that still we are not in a position to cope with it. Why it is happening, we must understand it, because there is no command responsibility. We do not have the...
No, 1 second, please. You know, when your Samajwadi Party government, when your Samajwadi Party government chooses to do nothing and fails in Muzaffarnagar, how can you do the grandstanding on this? And I'm asking you one thing. No, 1 second. I have one question. Kamal Farooqi, one.
I've already told you...
Kamal Farooqi, a question to you.
I've already told you I'm not speaking on behalf of...
Yeah, but I have a question for you and Sanjay Jha. Okay, fine. But I'll let Shahid Siddiqui also come in. One second. Shahid Siddiqui. 1 second. Let's get Shahid Siddiqui in. It's open debate after that. We'll take a break in 5 minutes, come back to the debate. Question to Shahid Siddiqui is, you think today, so suppose somebody says that, you know, you are a member of the majority community. Let's say you are a Hindu, and there has been a communal violence in which you are representing the majority community. And suppose your family gets affected or hurt, or your family members lose their lives, God forbid, or property. And if you're a member of the majority community, do you think, Shahid Siddiqui, there is enough in the existing Indian law to punish those people who have done these things to you? Do you think there is enough provision under the existing law to protect a member of the Hindu community?
Yes, there are enough provisions for both for the majority and minority. Arnab, let me make my point. The Congress, the UPA government has no intention of getting this bill passed. They are going through the motions just to satisfy the minorities and for their vote bank politics. They were not serious about it. If they were serious, then they would have brought it long time back.
You're saying this is drama.
And they did not discuss with.
You're saying this is drama.
Political parties. They did not discuss it with other political parties. Yes, this is a drama.
Let him complete, Sanjay.
Mr. Siddiqui, that means you support the bill at least. Thank you. Better late than never. At least you're supporting the bill.
Let me speak. I've been listening to you.
Sanjay Jha knows nothing about the bill. That's why he's talking about everything other than the bill.
You may disagree, it's your right to disagree, but let me make my point. In the National Integration Council meeting, I had made this point that immediately the government should consult all the states. Yes. Immediately they should call a meeting of all the political parties to discuss this bill, but they did not do that because the opposition is not just coming from the BJP, it is also coming from state governments. And we as Muslims do not want to take away any of the rights of the majority. We don't want it to be a majority versus minority. We don't want to come into
Are you saying that the Congress party is deliberately trying to draw a Hindu-Muslim divide on this?
Deliberately. Absolutely.
A Hindu-Muslim divide on this using this bill?
Deliberately.
Let me answer him.
No. What they are doing is they are
Mr. Shahid Siddiqui is obviously playing some serious politics here.
Satisfy the minority demand that this bill should be passed. Minority has been demanding this for last 1.5 decades. And they have been promising this in their manifestos.
So then how is it politics? I think you are contradicting yourself with the minority demands it. 1 minute, Mr. Siddiqui. Let me quote you. If the minorities demand it and the Congress party is getting it, how is it politics?
Like the women.
You are talking utter absurdity and rubbish.
This will not be passed.
I dismiss Siddiqui's statement as utter rubbish.
Utter rubbish. Okay, take my question. One second. I have one question.
Let me tell you, Mr. Siddiqui, if the minorities are demanding it and the government is bringing the bill in Parliament, how is that politics? Can you please explain that to me?
Or will you let me come in? Can I come in?
Mr. Siddiqui, I know you are not speaking the truth. I know you're distorting the truth, and you're also aware of that. Let me tell you, the communal violence bill is one that will change the contours of administration when a communal right breaks out in this country. And you also know, Mr. Siddiqui, that the reason why communal riots happen is because the state machinery, because the police is abused. And as far as Mr. Rahul Narendra is concerned, it is on record that transcripts whereby the Shiv Sena headquarters was influencing the police when the Mumbai riots were on. They know it, and therefore everybody needs to accept that reality.
Mr. Sanjay Jha, unfortunately for you and your party,
I'm questioning your seriousness, Mr. Sanjay. You are befooling, and I know I am speaking the truth.
The Home Minister of India.
That you have no intention.
1 second, 1 minute. I have one statement to make. I have one statement to make. I have
problem is Narendra Modi will give you another interview. Shahid Siddiqui, Narendra Modi will give you another interview for your newspaper.
Now you both calm down. Mr. Siddiqui and Mr. Jha, one second.
Interview from Narendra Modi for his newspaper.
Therefore, you are making this kind of silly allegations.
Mr. Jha and Mr. Shahid Siddiqui, will you let me come in?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I will do it.
No, I'm not. I'm just exposing your hypocrisy. I'm just exposing your double standards.
Why they run away from media, Mr. Sanjay?
I'm just exposing your double standards, Mr. Siddiqui.
In a democracy, you should face the media.
Don't worry about it. You stand exposed
today. I'm ready
today.
to question them.
Don't worry about why the Congress sends me, but you stand exposed today.
1 minute, please, gentlemen.
Don't worry how many interviews I'm going to do.
1 minute, gentlemen. I have 2 minutes to the break.
You are not answering me. The fact is, you do not want the bill to be passed.
I have one question, gentlemen.
Shahid Siddiqui, you haven't read the bill. I can tell right now. You haven't read the bill. You're just making.
Sanjay Jha, I request you now. 1 minute. I'm asking for a ceasefire between the both of you.
Let me ask you
Sanjay Jha, you probably have not understood the bill. Forget reading it.
I'm not questioning the bill. I'm questioning your intention. I'm questioning your intention. I'm not questioning the bill.
Acha, 1 minute, please, gentlemen.
You have no intention of getting it passed.
Gentlemen, politicians in full flow.
Talk about your intention.
Gentlemen,
talk about your intention.
Gentlemen, politicians in full flow have to be stopped. I am not the verbal equivalent of the Three Gorges Dam of China that I will be able to stop a river in spate. But please let me stop you on a lighter note. 1 minute is all I want. I beseech you. This government said, Meenakshi Lekhi, coming to you. This government said, we don't need laws. This government said, you don't need laws. You have enough laws. Right? So, Sanjay Jha, as I go to the break, I will quote the Home Minister of India, and you have no answer for this tonight. The Home Minister says, in fact, while talking about the debate on the SC and ST Prevention of Atrocities Act, the Home Minister says, in fact, honourable members will agree with me that adding to the laws does not make the enforcement more effective. It is the implementation of the existing laws with the intention to implement the laws, the will to implement the laws that makes enforcement more of laws effective. We make more and more laws, but if the enforcement is lacked, if the enforcement is poor, then merely adding to the body of laws does not make a difference. This is the Home Minister. On the other side of the news hour tonight, we will have to ask why the Home Minister says one thing one day, and suddenly 2 days from now in Parliament the government says one more thing. Back in 2 minutes. The debate continues on the other side. Well, before I went into the break, we have a big debate going on the anti-communal violence bill, which is being seen as a secular card being used to play a communal game. Two hands going up there. I quoted the Home Minister to Sanjay Jha, who was getting all feisty before I went into the break. And the Home Minister says, creating new laws. 1 minute, you will hear the other side first. Creating new laws is no answer. The Home Minister says that a few months back. And today you say, only a new law is the answer. Why? Because it helps you do your vote bank politics. Sanjay Jha, think about it. Meenakshi Lekhi wants to respond before I come to you. Meenakshi Lekhi, you agree? Meenakshi Lekhi. And by the way, 1 second. In this part of the debate, let one side finish before the other starts. Meenakshi Lekhi.
You see, Mr. Jha seems to have suggested that nobody has read the bill except him. Let me ask him 2 questions. My first question goes to him in saying that organized communal and targeted violence, hate propaganda, sexual assault. These are the laws, these are the presumptions under this enactment, and they only happen to minority community. They never happen to majority community. That is the suggestion by the Act. Do you agree with that? The second thing is compensation, restitution, and rehabilitation. That is post the trauma work requires to be done only for minority community and not for the majority community. Do you agree with these two propositions?
Well, let me answer. I don't think she's also read the bill properly. Number one, the definition is not about
so only you have.
Mr. Jha, you want to know the section? I'll quote the section.
I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. I'm answering your question. You and your party have raised an issue today, and I read Mr. Jaitley's statement. I'm assuming so have you. Your big objection seems to be actually on the federal structure that might be...
No, 1 second, please. One second. She's asking...
Don't make a fool out of yourself. She's asking something else.
I'm answering your question.
She's asking you completely something else.
He's not read nothing and he understands nothing about the law.
Let me finish.
Let me
He understands absolutely nothing.
You have tried to take the people for a ride. In 2002,
organized communal and targeted violence only happens to minority. It never happens to majority community.
First of all,
the center was absolutely incapable of doing anything about it.
Mr.
Jha,
please stop for a minute. Please shut up. Please don't go on a tangent. Mr. Jha,
a structure to ensure.
Mr. Jha, don't go on a tangent. Please stop. I request you. Please stop. Please stop. One second, Meenakshi Lekhi. Otherwise, I'm
question. It's there.
Okay,
she's trying to divert the attention.
Stop.
It is covering people. 1 minute. It is covering
Mr. Jha, please stop.
It is covering
go on and on and not listen to the
even
question.
For that matter,
and especially when you don't make any sense.
No, 1 minute.
Do you agree?
Is considering Dalits and tribals. And by the way, if you look at the history of riots in India, every time, and look at Godhra, for example, in the Godhra, the majority community was initially, the one that lost their lives, and you saw the reprisal and retribution that happened. So I think if you look at the history, and I've got the entire history in front of me,
so
every time there has been a riot, it is the majority.
Mr. Jha, 1 minute.
That is unleashed violence on the minority
should not
community.
get compensation.
That has been a reality that has happened. 1 minute, let me finish.
Mr. Jha, 1 second, please stop now.
In the country.
Please stop. I have something to say to you.
Laws in the country,
Mr. Jha,
to make sure that if there is any attack on anybody, the guilty will be punished. This law at the moment tries to ensure that those who are actually going to be in the fear of displays,
Mr. Jha, 1 second, please stop.
Protected. There's nothing
Mr.
wrong
Jha,
with that.
please stop for a minute, please. One second. Mr. Jha, you know, when we were in the first and second year of college, we used to do college debates. In those college debates, we used to say that there are two things which are very difficult. One thing which is difficult is defending the indefensible. But you used to like it for the intellectual challenge. You may take that position sometimes.
Oh,
but the other, allow me to.
What do you mean?
Allow me to.
Excuse me,
Mr.
Jha. 1 minute. I will right away. By the way, this is even I have chatted in college.
Mr. Jha, have a sense of humor.
Right away. What do you mean?
I'll tell you what I mean. I'll tell you what I mean. Mr. Jha,
have you read the bill? I'm wondering whether you have read the bill.
Mr. Jha,
I have read the bill.
Mr. Jha,
I have read the bill.
Mr. Jha, once allow me.
No, I don't think you have.
Please stop. You see, for the viewers.
I must compliment Mr. Jha that he is extremely gutsy. Not does he make a fool out of himself once, but he continues to do it throughout the program.
No, let's not get
Miss Lekhi asked him about why there is why is there a difference between majority minority, and he talks about the federal structure. I mean, if you don't know what she's talking about, if you don't know what she's talking about,
because there are multiple laws to arrest people who do anything wrong.
Mr. Jha, the second thing,
and
please.
by the way, this one is about 1 minute.
Mr. Jha, 1 second.
Read the title of the bill, boss.
Mr. Jha, 1 second.
You read the title of the bill.
Mr. Jha, please. Mr. Jha, please, 1 second. I request you sometime. I request you, please, But the second thing in college debates, which we were told, is the other very difficult thing, is the wonderful art of arguing against yourself. Now, this was a tactic whereby a good debater would draw a line. We know how we used to practice in debates. We used to draw a line, and on one side ask yourself the question, and go on the other side and answer the question which you asked yourself. Now, Mr. Jha, however tempting and delicious it is for you, please don't answer the question you ask yourself. Answer my question and answer the question of Meenakshi Lekhi. Now, my question is this to you very simply, right? And you please just wait. Let's get Shahid Siddiqui and the others also in just 1 minute. If it is being said...
No, you asked me. 1 minute. You asked me, let me answer.
This is a democracy. I have a right to ask everyone. Anyone, please, Mr. Jha, please.
No, 1 minute. You asked me because you seem to have a question to ask me. I may have all the answers for you waiting.
Mr. Jha, I will ask you, but tonight, you know, you are all guns blazing. I have to ask others with your permission, Congress Party's permission. My question is only this tonight. If on a serious note, if you are saying this, that the Indian Penal Code...
I'm a very serious note too.
Mr. Jha, 1 minute.
Yes.
If the Indian Penal Code has enough proposals to punish inciting of violence or creating a situation, if those are enough to deal with...
Right.
For any Hindu victim of violence to go and say, tell the Hindu victim of violence, the Indian Penal Code is good enough for you. But you say a Muslim victim of violence, for him the Indian Penal Code is not good enough. Now, either you have the Indian Penal Code for everyone or you don't have the Indian Penal Code for everyone. It's as simple as that. You don't declassify victims of violence on the basis of their religion. 1 second. Now we take the view of Shahid Siddiqui on this. Shahid Siddiqui, what do you think?
I don't...
Shahid Siddiqui.
There's a larger context of this. I don't think you have understood.
If Mr. Sanjay will let me speak, because he has this wonderful habit of not allowing anyone else to speak, and I understand that he, as a hired congressman, he will...
nothing personal, don't get personal. He's a congressman.
He doesn't have. So let me... I'm not getting personal, but I'm...
Mr. Siddiqui, I'm a very relaxed man, and I will tell you haven't read the bill, and it is pretty obvious. Cut out your electoral and rhetorical adrenaline. It has no purpose.
Please let me speak.
So stop getting personal and I will let you carry on.
You see,
even I'm a debater. Arnab Goswami knows that. I know we are discussing a
okay.
So let us not get personal here.
I've been demanding this bill for long, but the point is that if they had intention to get this bill through, then they should have tried to bring in those who are opposed to it for various reasons. Say, federal question. If others were opposed to it, they should have worked on them. They have not done their homework. They have not tried to. And BJP, some of the objections raised by the BJP can be met. Even Muslim groups, even the NGOs have been saying that the definition of the victim can be relooked into, and we can satisfy some of the objections raised by BJP, Shiv Sena or the other groups. Because the intention is not to bring Muslims and Hindus into confrontation.
No, we have equality before the law.
The victims of the riots, which they have not been getting in the past.
Absolutely. No, equality before the law. I'm saying tonight, should we?
This bill is ultra virus of the Constitution. Article.
You think it'll be defeated if it goes with challenge in court?
The law provides for equality before the law, equal protection of the law. This certainly will not stand the test.
Then anybody can go to the Supreme Court.
So what's the intention?
My point is they don't have any intention of getting
the intention is before election bring it.
Majority of the congressmen do not support this bill. They don't want this
bill. That's right.
And
let me tell you, Mr. Jha, since you don't know your facts and you keep...
reservation bill, they do not support the communal violence and targeted bill.
Mr. Siddiqui knows what the congressman...
Mr. Jha, just keep quiet for 2 minutes. Just in case you don't know, we all know you suffer from that foot in the mouth disease. But do you know, in the conference of
one at a time,
in the conference of chief ministers, your own party chief ministers have also expressed their concern over this bill.
A communal violence bill.
This bill was vehemently refuted by majority of the chief ministers in the conference held a few months back. Do you know that?
Name them.
So therefore, Mr. Jha, before you talk, you get your facts clear. And please don't pretend to know the bill, because you've not addressed a single question which was put forth to you on this bill.
If there is an objection,
throughout this show, all that you've done is picking out some political points and not made any sense at all.
Sena MPs in Parliament, let them debate it in Parliament. Let the people hear what your objections are.
In that case, why are you coming here? In that case, why does your
issues debated in Parliament?
On the serious note,
the MPs will do what they have to. Since you've come here to defend the Congress party, you debated here first.
Meenakshi Lekhi.
To access to justice.
It's not to defend, it's to explain why the country needs the bill.
Justice and moral injury can only happen to minority community according to this bill. And if it happens to majority community, they don't have any recourse to it, at least under the Act.
No, my question
compensation, etc., rehabilitation should only happen to minority community and not to majority community.
This is another fit example of pseudo-secular politics practiced by the Congress party.
Meenakshi Lekhi to sit here and take a posture that the BJP is the big protector of the Hindus.
Mr. Jha, I would suggest
it is such a shame. It is such a shame that the BJP is trying to play politics here in a TV studio. Let me tell you, I don't think, Meenakshi, you know that you're twisting the facts here.
You're not answering
Okay, Sanjay Jha, one second.
It will ensure that anybody who's affected.
No, Sanjay Jha, no, Sanjay Jha.
Anybody from any community who's affected in an adverse way in a communal violence will get protection of law, will get relief, will get rescue, will get rehabilitation.
Who is adversely placed?
You have raised this
you
point.
You mean to say majority community is not adversely placed in this country?
People in relief camps are not getting support.
Right.
By the way,
your facts right.
Listen to others.
The majority community are still in camps.
No, one second.
And you've done nothing.
1 second. I want shorter answers. I want
number of riots are happening in state of Kerala, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, controlled by you.
1 second. Can I please come in between both of you? Don't speak for a minute. 1 second. Don't make factually inaccurate comments. You say everybody has access. I say tonight, everybody should have access. As per 14, equality before law. As per 15.1, state will not discriminate on any grounds of religion, caste, race, sex, place of birth, etc., etc. But in this particular case, it is absolutely clear that there will be probably, if you look at it, a presupposition of guilt of a particular community, depending upon the religion. But that is not acceptable, Mr. Jha. And Mr. Jha, some people will have access under the riot to the Indian Penal Code. Some people will have access to this particular bill. Why? Why do you want to divide Hindus and Muslims on these lines?
Guilt is only applicable once it's established. 1 minute, I don't know what you're saying.
Well, you obviously know what I'm saying.
There if it's established by law, through enforcement, through investigation. And by the way, here, you're talking about even the federal, by the way, what we're talking about is even the federal structure has been given its own independence and empowerment.
Well, I put that question, I give a last word.
Now, the big challenge that we have in our country.
Last word.
The big challenge that we have in our country.
Meenakshi Lekhi, she's been quiet. Meenakshi Lekhi's turn, please now. Meenakshi Lekhi.
That the states are free to discuss.
Meenakshi Lekhi, please.
You see, the discrimination based on the religion is basically the intent of this act, and which is nothing but playing communal politics short of election, knowing very well this will be struck down by the court even if it's passed by the parliament. 1, it will not be passed by the parliament. 2, even if it's passed, it will be struck down. So it is only playing bad politics before election and playing divisive politics. There is no intent to control rioting, because riots can be controlled without this law only by good administrative mechanism, as Gujarat has shown. Post 2002, there has not been riots.
Which we saw.
I'd say this.
And
we saw the administration of the state in Gujarat 2002.
Like Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh,
and we saw Uttar Pradesh a few months ago in Muzaffarnagar. What happens?
Controlled by Congress government.
I think the country has seen how the federal structure has developed, has completely delivered as well.
Okay, completely out of time. I thank you all.
Move away from
it's quite clear to me
who can be a victim.
This bill will be contentious. This will be debated. We have had all sides on the heated debate on the News Hour tonight. I thank you all. Meenakshi Lekhi, Sanjay Jha, Shahid Siddiqui, Rahul Narwekar, and before that Kamal Farooqi for joining me.